I'd like to tell you a story, true story about Ford Motor Company and me. Now, I bought a 2013 Ford Focus in 2019. It had 90,000 miles on it. Bought it from a dealership in Charlotte, Capital Ford. And within 6 months, my transmission started slipping. I started having shuddering. Called them several times, took it back over. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. Said it was just trying to learn my driving style, blah, blah, blah. Finally, at about 10 months, I took it back over because it was shifting so bad. I mean, it would shake you out of your skin trying to get through first three or four gears. They checked it and said it was in fact the dual clutch had gone out and would be replaced under warranty, which they did in January of 2020. So because of the 10,000 mile warranty they gave me, it was up in June of 2020. So I did get the dual clutch changed, but then I continued having all over again the shudder issues. And about 3 weeks ago, I was on my way home from work on the interstate, doing the speed limit along with everyone else in the left-hand fast lane, when it was like my car shifted into neutral and wouldn't go back into gear. I tried putting it in neutral and back into drive, tried dropping it into low, as a last resort. Kind of short of getting myself killed, I was able to piss a bunch of people off, get across 3 lanes of traffic, and as my car coasted down to about 30 miles an hour, it shifted into gear again, and every time I would get up to about 40 or 50, it would just rev up and just do nothing. It would stop engaging. I did take it to the back to Capital Ford. After doing some research, I found out that there was an extended warranty due to the class action lawsuit about the transmission control module, and coincidentally the error code that it gave me, and I forget which one it was. I'm sorry, I should have made a note of it. I did not, but it was the code for the transmission control module. Took it back to Capital Ford. They told me it was going to cost $225 just to check it, but if it were under warranty, they would fix it and not charge me anything. So they called me back the next day and said that it was not under warranty, it was not the transmission control module, that my lower actuator, the shift control actuator, had failed, and it was going to cost me $2,800 to replace it. And this is after I had called Ford again and gone around with them. They gave me some kind of sunshine blowing up my backside speech about, well, they would see what they could do about getting under warranty. No, they did not. I tell you, this is a death trap. I'm glad it was me and not my wife. I'd much rather something happen to me than happen to her. But let me tell you, it's too late to make a long story short. The car has 2 actuators, and I bought them on eBay for $68, including tax. Got here in just a few days. I've just changed the hard one, which is the bottom one, in about 15 minutes. And I'll tell you, it took me longer to find the Torx bit that would fit it than the screws on the cover underneath the engine than it took me to replace the module. And I'm going to pause for a minute and I'll show you what I did. The top transmission control module is right here, that piece. Show you the bottom one. This is the one that failed. It's underneath the engine. The top one's here, and to take it off, from what I understand, you have to take the air box off, basically take the 4 screws out. Now what they are, the screw, the bolt size is 1/4 universal a bit, and what that means is they've got the little tiny teeth in it instead of the square hex on the bit. So you'll need a 1/4 inch for that and an extension. That's all. There is a plug on the side you have to unplug, but I can tell you, everybody showed trying to unplug it first. Don't. Just take the unit off itself. If you take the unit off, the shift actuator off, you can easily pull the little yellow tab out. There's a yellow tab. When you take it off, there'll be a yellow tab on the plug going into it. Take a little screwdriver, carefully, don't break it. Pull it up, and it will lift up, and then just slide the little piece out. I'll show you in just a minute. Get up underneath the car. The hardest thing to take off, honestly, and it was not hard at all, was the cover. And these covers, I don't know if I can get it in focus. They use a small Torx bit. I don't know what size, T, whatever it is. But you'll see the transmission shift actuator is here. And that's how easy it is to pull it out once you take the 4 bolts off. The plug is here, and initially it's pushed all the way in. When you take this little yellow tab out right here, you just pull it out the end with a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. Then you pull that little piece, you pull it out. I can't do it with one hand, but as you're facing it now, from this part, it would be pushed all the way in, this piece would, but you pull it out to the right and it'll come off the actuator. And you simply slide the other one in and put the screws on. Put the plug back in just like it goes, and that's it. And you can actually do both modules without having to have your TCM or your transmission control module reprogrammed. So that's how easy it was. And Ford told me that, oh, the reason it was $2,800 to change these 2 parts was because they had to drop the transmission, blah blah blah, and there was a lot of labor involved. Well, I call bullshit. There's no bunch of labor involved. They do not have to pull the transmission. These are the transmission shift actuators. There's one on bottom, one on top. They're both the same part. I'll even show you the part number if you want it. You can read that. There, that's the part number. You can search for that part number, the bottom one, the AE8Z-7C604-A. There's one in each. They cost about $34 on eBay. Get 2 of them and replace them while you're at it. Thanks. Okay, so here I am talking about my 2013 Ford Focus Titanium. I bought it in 2019 from Capital Ford in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was a quote-unquote buyback vehicle. They told me it had a brand new transmission and clutch and everything. All the transmission had been replaced, blah blah blah. Gave me a 1-year bumper-to-bumper warranty on it. It had about 94,000 miles when I purchased it. I bought it from them. Within 3 to 4 months, started slipping. The transmission, the clutch felt like it was slipping. Yes, it's a dual clutch automatic transmission. Stupidest thing I've ever heard of, but that's what they have in them. It's automatic transmission with dual clutch inside. There's a lot of problems with these on the Focus and on the Fiesta as well. Probably a few more of their vehicles. In January of 2020, they replaced the dual clutch after I had repeated problems with it shuttering, shifting erratically. They replaced the dual clutch under warranty. Then in June of 2020, my year warranty ran out, but I still continued having problems with shifting, and about 3 weeks ago, before Christmas, I found I was on my way home, and I was running in the fast lane of the interstate along with traffic, doing the speed limit at least, and it was like my car shifted into neutral, would not go back into gear, would just rev high. The RPMs would rev all the way up when I'd mash on the gas. Put it in neutral, tried going back and forth into drive, would not engage the transmission. So I put on my turn signal and just closed my eyes. Well, I didn't close my eyes. I wanted to close my eyes, forced my way across 3 lanes of traffic, trying not to get killed in the process. So looked it up, and there was an extended recall due to a lawsuit that Ford had. The error code came up as, I think it was P805, or it had to do with the transmission control module. Well, there's an extended warranty for 150,000 miles and 10 years on this vehicle. Took it back to Capital Ford. They said no, that was not the problem. They charged me $247 including tax to diagnose it. Said that the shift actuator had gone out, the lower shift actuator. There are actually 2 shift activators on this vehicle. They told me it was going to cost me $2,800 for them to repair it because they had to drop the transmission to replace it, blah, blah, blah. Well, bullshit. They don't. There are 2 transmission activators. One's on the top underneath the airbox. The other one underneath the engine, at the front of the engine, when you take the engine cover off the bottom, there's 6 torque bolts. It took me 20 minutes to change it. Cost me $34 off of eBay, brand new. This is the old one I took off. There were 4 1/4-inch bolts that had to come off and a little switch, and I've got an upcoming portion to the video which I'll show you. But yeah, 20 minutes to change what they wanted $3,000 to change, and that's a death trap, folks. I hope this video helps someone out there. If you're having that problem with your transmission, do something about it. Buy 2 of these, change the top one and the bottom one. They're easy to change. Take the bolts out, unplug it, put the new one on, plug it back in, put the 4 bolts in it. That's it. That's it. 20 minutes. It took me longer to find the right Torx driver to take the engine cover off than it took to take this out, and hope this helps someone. Just crazy though. That's how Ford is. They care more about money than your life. Okay, so the moment of truth. I connected everything back up. I only changed the lower shift actuator, the one they said at Capital Ford had failed, and wanted to charge me $2,800 just to change that one $35 part. I cleared the code on my engine with my OBD 2 meter, backed the car off the ramps, cleaned up my tools, and here I am ready to make my first test, and we'll see if it bucks like a Bronco, or if it shifts like it's supposed to, or if it goes up, revs up real high. I'm in drive. Wow, that feels much better. Oh, hell yes. Oh yeah. The best 35 bucks I've ever spent. 60. I've still got a spare in the event I need to change the upper one or have to change the lower one again. It took me I guess 20 minutes to change it. The longest time it took was actually trying to remove the engine cover from the bottom, which was 6 Torx screws. I don't know the size, but you could figure it out. It's worth watching the video to save you that much money. Thanks.